The biggest red flag that you can experience in a man is actually getting a lot of pushback. If you ask him to do something and he just wants to prove a point, so he wants to put his foot down to assert his dominance, that is probably the biggest red flag, because a man who truly loves you and wants to be with you is going to know the value of a high value woman. And he is going to understand and realize that there is going to be a purpose behind why she has asked for him to do something a certain way, or just to do something, full stop. When a man is showing a lot of pushback, normally 9 times out of 10, he's trying to reassert his dominance. But there is no room for ego in relationships, and a high value man understands that.
I think one of the reasons that me and so many women in their 30s are single is because we don't want to train men. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about this guy that I've been talking to who isn't quite acting as I would expect. And she was like, oh, that's trainable. That's not necessarily a deal breaker. Sometimes they just need a little bit of coaching. What if I don't want to be a coach? Why have we normalized training men? Why would I want to be with someone who I have to teach how to treat me? I didn't have to be trained. I have so many amazing girlfriends who didn't have to be trained. So why are we okay with the idea that we have to train our boyfriends? Now, I'm not saying that relationships don't take communication. Obviously, if you have expectations of your partner, you have to make them known. But I think the idea of training men is a modern day way of saying I can change him. And I think that leads women to settle. If I wanted to train something, I would get a dog.
Unfortunately, I think dating's been destroyed by modern day dating apps. No one yearns anymore. No one courts. It's all done for the easiest possible way to get the job done, get someone into bed, or just slap a label on it and say, oh, you're my girlfriend now, you're my boyfriend now. There's no effort. No one's interested in actually trying to get someone and keeping them, or they do manage to get someone and then the effort changes and it's like, well, I've got you now, so I don't need to do anything more with that. And this is why I want to stay single, because I don't want half-assed effort.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Josten J coming to you with another video. Let's cook, boys. Let's cook. Alright. Women hate when men ignore their entitlement in modern dating. We got action. Let's cook.
Bitch, if a guy has done any of the following, he's gay. You need to move on and let that man go. If he's ever canceled plans with you to go hang out with his homeboys, he's gay. Yeah, he wants his homeboys to suck his dick. If he's ever allowed you to pay for a date or asked you to go 50-50, he's gay. If you ever had to ask him to be more affectionate with you, he's gay. He doesn't want to touch you, bitch. He wants to touch dick. If you ever had to ask him to spend more time with you or like arrange dates, he's gay. He doesn't want to hang out with you. He doesn't want to go on a date with you because you don't got a dick. If he doesn't post you, but he wants to post his homeboys, he's gay. He's in a relationship with them, girl, not you, bitch. Honestly, if he's under 5'10", he's probably gay. Yeah. Yeah. If he says things like, oh, but you could text me first too. Oh, he's a princess. He's a virgin with the prince, bitch. If when he's hanging out with you, he's texting his homeboys, guess what? He'd rather be getting his dick sucked by them. If he has a group chat with all his homeboys, he wants to get gangbanged by them. Yeah.
Women hate when you have strong bonds with your friends, and this is going to be immature women. The reason why they don't like that is because they want to be able to control both aspects of this, right? So your happiness needs to revolve around them. So when you're not happy, that also revolves around them. And everything else that she was going into is complete nonsense. Men have the ability to be men. See, women want men to be men, but then again, they want them to be suckers. It's not gonna work like that. The reason why a lot of women have trouble attracting men is because they don't know how to just let a man be a man. They're always trying to get in the middle of it and make him something that he's not. A man wants to spend time with his friends. What's wrong with that? How does he play for the other team? Oh, because he's going against your entitlement to his time. Oh, because he has a life outside of you. Oh, his friends will be there for him after you, and they were there for him before you. You understand, right? A lot of guys don't have close friends like that. So when guys do, these are meaningful relationships. So you want him to just give that up? Isn't it funny on the flip side, you tell a chick, yo, I don't want you hanging out with him anymore. We've been friends forever. Crazy how that works, right? Ignore all of this nonsense. If a woman wants you to be all about her and around her 24/7, chances are that's not going to be a healthy relationship. Even though women want to be close to the guys that they're into, when you have space in between you and a woman and she understands that, oh, he can only see me on this day, trust and believe she respects you more. Don't believe any of this hype. Let's get the next one.
So I had a long commute to work because the traffic was crazy. I don't even know why the traffic was crazy, but I had a lot of time to think about some things. So first things first, I want a man who yearns for me. I'm talking like Bridgerton, Romeo and Juliet. Like, I need to be the bane of this man's existence. Like, I'm putting my order in now with God. I want my love to feel like an 80s R&B song, like a Jagged Edge, Life Jennings, Lauryn Hill, Nivea, Aaliyah type of song. That's what I want it to feel like. I want it to feel like a 90s rom-com with Matthew McConaughey. I don't care which one. It just needs to be starring Matthew McConaughey. That's what I want it to feel like. Okay? I want it to feel like William Shakespeare's iambic pentameter. That's what I want it to feel. I want it to feel like every song on the soundtrack in Twilight.
Once again, this sounds good when they're like, oh, I want a man to yearn, but it repels them at the same time. And it's funny that she made a shout out to like old R&B and like old music. Yo, those days are done. A lot of that music was around when times were different. That's done. Talking about Twilight. We're not talking about werewolves and vampires. Men ain't going for that, bro. And you're not going to get that. See, even in Twilight, isn't it funny how the chick is mad basic? The chick is mad basic. And she got two dudes fighting over her. Dudes are not doing that. They're not doing that. What? This is why they got to run and escape and go to books, podcasts, and, you know, reality TV and stuff, because men aren't doing that. Men are ignoring the entitlement. Oh, you don't want me? Okay, cool. I'm not about to compete with him. Why would I do that when I respect myself? I want this and I want to feel this and I want et cetera and et cetera. What is the guy going to get in return? Matter of fact, what are you going to do to inspire the guy? What are you going to do? Can never answer that, but you want and you want to feel and you want this and you want that. Dream on. I mean, dare to dream. You know, it's good to have a dream, but it ain't happening anytime soon unless you get on the good foot and bring what can I do for you, sir, energy. Let's get the next one.
People ask me how I stay hopeful when I'm single in my 30s, and here is my answer to that. I get it, right? Like, sometimes you have days when you just feel like, oh, I'm never going to find anybody. Oh, I am going to be the only one left who's single. I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Those thoughts definitely come up for mostly everybody, I think. But the thing that keeps me hopeful is that is a choice. Being hopeful is a choice. Believing in something that's greater than yourself, and that's not necessarily even God or something religious. It could just be that you believe in love. Remaining hopeful takes more courage than it does to not. Because being hopeful is believing in something that you can't see. And believing in something you can't see is difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people believe in evidence and facts. I know that's not exactly the answer that anybody wants to hear. But that is how I remain hopeful. Because hope is in something that you can't see. And there's no evidence in it. But when you do, and you can hold on to that hope and hold on to that faith, it could get you through a lot.
Simps and grifters are actually how women stay hopeful. Dudes marrying single moms. Dudes getting with and actually committing to women that been around the block. When they see these women, right, say like, oh, well, my man came about, like I got with my dude after all of this. That's what keeps women hopeful. That's what actually keeps women hopeful. If you ever wonder why women never tell each other the truth, it's because they're selling them hope. Oh, well, it worked for her. See, as men, we understand That worked for him. Now I could look at what he did and try to incorporate it into what I have going on, or try to learn some knowledge from that person. But what worked for them won't necessarily work for me. I have to pave my own way. I got to get it by any means necessary. I got to get it out the mud. Women don't operate that way. Oh, well, it worked for her, so it could work for me. No, it might not. And what happens if it doesn't? When they're talking about, I'm staying hopeful, she's in her 30s, staying hopeful. Listen, women in their 30s, yes, some women are going to get snatched up. I always say this, right? It's not like a woman who's 30, 31, 32, 33 can't find a guy and get on, but she must bring good energy. She must be willing to put into the pot. None of this, oh, I want a provider. No, knock it off. Knock it off, because your chances are going to decrease. So she's talking about, oh, I'm still hopeful. There's no need for hope when you actually have value. Women of value get snatched up. But men are out here ignoring entitlement. Imagine that a 30-something-year-old chick is telling you what she will and won't accept. Guys are laughing at you. See, this is why women have to shame and blame and complain, because deep down inside, they understand this. Guys are laughing at you. Especially when it comes to them wanting providers and guys to pick up the bill and pay for this and pay for that and hair and nails. Okay, why am I doing this for you when younger women want the same thing? And I have the thing that they want. Let's make sense out of that. So yeah, it's great to stay hopeful, but just understand that men are not going for manipulation. They're not going for what you will and won't do. Those days are long gone. So yeah, stay hopeful, but be in reality. You understand? Don't be delusional about it. Because the reason why they stay hopeful is because of simps and grifters and people preaching that, never come off of your standards. The guy of your dreams is right around the corner. He's gonna show up when you least expect it. What? Keep going with that strategy. See where it gets you. Because men ain't going. Let's get the next one.
All right, I don't know how I got here, but I am now on the princess treatment side of TikTok, where all these men are saying, like, your girl shouldn't work at all. She should never have to pay a bill. There's no such thing as 50-50. And I treat my woman with gifts every day and pay all of her bills. The only thing she should have to worry about is looking pretty, getting her nails done. And where are these men? Because they don't exist where I live, and where do I sign up? I need one of those men, because that is literally what I deserve in life. So if anybody knows where to find these men, leave it in the comments, because I need to know.
See, I told you, they fall for the grift. They fall for the grift. Watching TikTok, reality TV, what this person says, what this person says. When men shower women, right? A lot of this goes unsaid. These women have been with this guy for a bunch of years. Since high school, since college, early 20s, when he didn't have the bag. So a woman will get on Instagram and she'll see another woman. Her man bought her a car, bought her something expensive, bought her a bag, took her on a trip. And they're thinking, well, damn, a man should be doing that for me. You're looking at that. Did you go back? Did you go back through the pictures? When they had their first kid, when they got their first house, when they first got together? Because if you go back, you'll see that they just got together. See, everything else is tricking. They just see, oh, he got her a car. Oh, he did this. I deserve this. No, bro, a lot of men who shower their women, who treat them well, they've been with that woman for a long time. So this woman thinks that she's going to walk in, right, in a guy's life, and he's going to start doing that. That's not how things go. And that's why women are frustrated out here. See, the grift goes, keep your expectations and your standards high. Any man that can't meet them, he's a brokey, a dusty. Push him to the side, because your king is just going to stroll along into your life. That's why these movies are nonsense. Are nonsense. Some chick working as a maid, she bumps into some maid rich dude. And all of a sudden, he don't want the chicks that are on his level anymore. He wants the maid. Some chick comes into the office, she gets a job as a secretary. The CEO of some company now wants to date her. And not only date her, spoil her, fly her here and do all of this and buy this and move her into his place. Listen, they have to put this stuff in movies because it's not real like that. Yes, does it happen, but not to the extent where women are thinking that this billion-dollar guy is going to scoop them up. It's not how it works, bro. Men who are down on their luck or who had a vision, who had a blueprint to get somewhere, the woman that they're investing into now and showering now with things, she was there for the ramen noodles. She was there for sleeping on the floor, sleeping on a mattress on the floor, sleeping in the car, having to sleep in hotels, not having it all figured out. Now that he's up, that's exactly why he pours into his woman and his family. Because she believed in him. These women are talking about where are all these provider type of guys. Provider men have been with these women for a long time. You're not going to walk into a guy's life and he's just going to start providing for you. Men are ignoring all of that. And that's strictly entitlement speaking. It's not anything else. See, women think, okay, a man being a provider is how things are supposed to go. No, a woman getting with him and being there and showing him why he should provide is why men provide. Deep down inside, right? See, women go, men are intimidated by successful women. No, not at all. It's just that men know that your success doesn't do anything for a man. A man wants to be the leader of his household. So women price themselves out of the market. Deep down inside, all men want to provide or pay majority of the bills in his household. But for a woman that's worth it. So when you think about it, why everybody's single and like men don't want to do it anymore, because men are in their 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, 40s, mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s. Bro, I'm not meeting a chick that's going to help me build anything. I already built everything. So the only thing that a woman can do for me is give me, what can I do for you, sir, energy. If she ain't doing that, get it the hell up out of here. That's why she can't find it. Let's get the next one.
Believe men when they tell you who they are. That's kind of hard for me because I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm always someone who's like, I just like to see the good in people. I think people are generally good and people are generally trying to do their best. And if we've shared a good experience together, so much of my brain that just wants to be like, let's get back to that good. Maybe that goes back to just like my optimistic, hopeful personality. I was thinking about this date that I went on with this guy in 2024 and it was a really good first date. Like we had a lot in common. He was cute. He was chivalrous. He set everything up. He paid for everything. He did not walk me back to my car, which I did not like, but overall it was a really good date. And then we texted every day after the date. And I was actually just looking at the texts right now to remind myself before I made this video, and they were so cute and so flirty. He was so like inquisitive. The conversation was like really substantive. Like we were really talking about things. It wasn't just like a, hey, how are you doing? What are you doing today? It was like we were bantering, we were vibing. And then our second date was scheduled for Halloween. The day of our second date, he canceled it. Texted me at like 1 o'clock. He worked a lot. He had a really serious, busy job. And he was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I have to cancel this date. He was apologetic about it, but like he didn't offer any kind of rescheduling. So then my brain at that time interpreted that as like, okay, so then you just don't want to see me. We kept talking. We keep texting. A week goes by where we're still just talking, texting. And I say like, hey, if you want to reschedule, let me know. And he goes, yeah, I do want to reschedule. I'm just out of town right now. And I'm like, okay. And then more time goes by and he's not talking about rescheduling. And we've only gone on one date. And I've always been this person who's like, I want to get to know you in person. I don't want to be texting. I'm an in-person kind of girl. So I bring it up again to him in our text about like, I'm somebody who likes to talk and meet in person. He goes, yeah, me too. I've just been busy with work. I've been traveling, blah, 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 blah. And then I am so vulnerable and I say, okay, like I had a really good time on our first date and I'm enjoying messaging you, but it feels to me like perhaps you are too busy to really get to know someone right now. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. He doesn't respond to that for 7 days. And then I double text him again and I said, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect you to just not respond to this. And 3 more days go by and he responds this long message about how he's so sorry and how he was trying to figure out how to respond, but he didn't know how. And he's just really busy and he really did enjoy his time with me and he wants to continue to see me and get to know me, but he doesn't know how regular or consistent it will be. And if I'm looking for something more consistent, then he doesn't want to waste my time. And I just never responded to that. I never responded to that. I didn't react to it. No response. 1, you're basically saying this is all I have to give, take it or leave. But 2, it took you like 10 days to respond to a text where I'm being so vulnerable. Like that in and of itself shows enough for me. And so going back to the whole if someone's telling you who they are, believe them. He's telling me that he is too busy. He was telling me that he doesn't know if he could really work me into his schedule in the way that I need. At that point, it was like November 15th. Our first date was October 20th. I looked at the dates. A month later, to not go on a second date is that's just really not going to work for me. He either can't or won't or doesn't want to be flexible and try to work me into a schedule, and whether he can't, will, or doesn't want to doesn't matter to me because it's all the same. Brenda, I'll tag her, she's one of my mutuals on here. She was talking about this guy that she's been seeing and how like she's expressed to him her wants and her needs and he's kind of just like, this is it, take it or leave it. And I think when a guy does that to you, for me, it's so hard for me because I want to be like, but wait, like remember this good, remember this, remember that, but you have to just believe them. And that guy that I'm talking about, the guy that I went on a date with 2 years ago, he is telling me that he's not somebody who can be flexible and who can give and who can work me into a schedule. And so I have to just believe him.
Okay, so another story of a man's indifference down for the books. Check this out, right? She's talking about a guy from 2 years ago. And he was busy. So they went on a date. He was busy. He didn't know if he could pencil her in or fit her in. And he acted with emotional intelligence. Honesty. Still not good enough. She had to poke and pry or whatever. And you notice that this is a guy that she wanted. She's like, I wanted to see, I would always try to see the good and this, that, but I just couldn't. And shout out to Brenda. Isn't it amazing how they're so different from one another? They're so special. They're not like other girls. They're not that type of girl. And they still go through the same experiences with men. Yo, once again, does she want you or not? Does she want you or not? The guy that she wants, she's willing to make exceptions. See, she's acting as if like I had to just let that situation be. No, he actually just let it ride. I don't know if I could give you what you need because I'm a busy guy. I got things going on. And it's funny because they don't want to date losers and they don't want to date bums. But this guy is telling you the truth. He's so busy with everything that he can't make you a priority. Rather than work with him, she's like, nah, this ain't gonna work. And that's cool, but check this out. Why is it that you can bump into a guy that's really on his shit and instead of work with him, you're like, I feel as though he's telling me I could take it or leave it. That's how men operate. Women wouldn't know a man if 10 men, real men, were in front of her. This is how they operate. They go out into life and they just, move through guys and they don't see men. This is why they're like, where are the real men? Somebody will think, he could have put aside more time for her. Listen, bro, the goal is become. They come after. They just come with becoming anyway. So logic says she should have just worked with him. And I'm only saying she should have worked with him because she was really interested in him. Not just any regular whatever guy. But if you're really interested in him, just make it work. Just make it work. And you could tell she was interested in him 2 years ago and you're still talking about this guy. I'm going to tell you guys all the time, they rarely meet guys who make the cut for them. Those men are in control. You understand? Those men, the men that women want are actually in control. Don't feel sorry. And once again, when you're thinking that women have all this leverage, not with the guys that they want, not with the guys who are busy bossing up, not with the guys who understand their value, not with the guys that can be straight up with them. But she thinks that she was entitled to his time. That's not how that goes. men are in control.
I cannot go on a coffee date because I don't have the time. If I said yes to coffee dates and walks, I would be going on 3 dates a day. Let's be honest about the situation here. I have big tits, a fat ass, and a solid face card. Like, I'm gonna get asked out a lot. The barrier to enter to date me has to be higher than a coffee or a walk. I don't have all the time in the day to go on all those coffee dates.